Management is the art, the science, and the craft to get work done. It touches everyone's life. Mismanagement during the COVID crisis elevates the importance of good management. Just imagine if you can measure and improve it. With better management, that's what we can do. Our diagnostic tool and the book will help us to assess management, and it's ready for a COVID dynamic type time. To write better management, I needed the link between competitive advantage and management. For that, Barney's Win Factors, that's a technology thing here, brought the solution. It's the factors that help me measure and identify competitive advantage. That insight was the trigger for our diagnostic solution and the book. The title and subtitle is important for any book. Both actually guide what the content is. So let me share that with you. As you see, the title is Better Management, and then there is a subtitle, 6 Principles for Leaders to Make Management Their Competitive Advantage. So what do I do there? And I have learned that over the past years that this is a good way of doing that. So first of all, that explains the what. Okay, what am I writing about? Okay, 6 principles for leaders is the how, and make management their competitive advantage. That's the outcome. So for me, it was important always to have the outcome in a title. So that's kind of a structure I used that worked quite well for me over the past. Okay, so how do I go about getting the information together for the book? And that is actually quite easy. During the year, once I have the title, once it's clear what I will write about, I start collecting. That sometimes goes for months. There is no limit to what I'm collecting. I read things, I reflect, I print things out. I have my famous yellow folder where I put all of these documents in there. And there is always a time, once I have written up the structure of the new book and the idea with some of the texts that come from myself, I actually go through all of these articles, I read through them, and I add some ideas to document what I'm doing. So this has been very helpful, very simple. Just put it in a folder, put it away, and then work with it. What I have also done often is, once I have put the structure into a Word document, I add ideas to chapters. So this is an example of chapter 5, Management is the Competitive Advantage. What you see is a couple of ideas that come from reading, from information that I'm collecting. What I do is every day I spend half an hour in the morning going through the social media stuff here. That's the only time I really do it during the day. And I look for ideas, for things that help me to improve what I'm doing here. That's where this comes from. So now we are actually closer to getting into the writing. So third, the writing itself of the book. One thing came clear to me very fast, that structure is most important. Once I have a structure for what I'm writing about, then the writing itself is easy. It just kind of flows, it goes here. But finding the structure is the tough part here. I first start out with paper, and that's the first or the initial A4 sheet on better management here. So it's the scribbling around, it's the trying to put this into parts, into chapters, writing down where I have the information. This is a sheet of paper that means a lot to me, so I'm not throwing it away. I put it onto a pile, and I collect all of those while I'm going on refining the structure. I often also do it with my iPad. I just jot down, the logical idea of how things should flow. So that might look like that. My current version is about 5 pages long. That's what it looks like. It clearly shows, I'd say, the chapters. It shows what I'm going to write about. It shows some icons. Because these icons mean something to me. That there are models that I'm using in order to complement writing. They also will turn into tables, into graphics that will be part of the book. So that's kind of like one of the most important things that offer the structure of the book. So that's the physical thing. That's what it looks like here. So it's a couple of sheets of paper, and as you see, it has already advanced. It advances every time I'm writing about the book. So that's kind of the I'd say that the structure when I start writing. Then what I do is I translate that into a Word document. The structure of the book as it is right now. Okay, I haven't really started writing yet, or first chapter or so, but that's not really getting into it yet here. It clearly has the parts to it. It has the titles to it, and it has the chapters and the titles of the different chapters here. So in that case, I'm going with 4 parts. Okay, and every part has, let's say, 3 to 6 chapters to it. Okay, there is a structure to these chapters. I have learned that first of all, I write about the why. So here it's, why is better management needed? And the answer is, it's the challenges of the digital area. Then I'm writing about the what. So what is it all about? Okay, and here I'm plotting 6 principles that readers can just can take into their own organization and think about. Then it's more of the how. Okay, so the how is management design. It's work on the system. Work on the system is a technical term that we are using to improve management or the operating system in an organization. And in the end, it's the final chapter that shows some of the results, what you're actually getting, or what happens if you're applying better management. So that's a very simple structure that has helped me to kind of put a structure into what I'm all writing about. Every part starts with a title and then with an introduction to what I'm going to say. So that is simply a summary of the first part. Then every chapter starts with a title, and it starts with a summary of what I'm going to say. So that's kind of an important part, because that anchors the reader into what is coming, and he then has a choice to either go on or dig deep into that specific. Another part of what I'm using as structure in that sense here is within the chapters. I use at the end of every chapter, first of all, a set of questions and the guide into the next chapter. And I close the chapter off with this box here. This box summarizes the entire chapter with 4 things. It's a summary of the chapter. Then it's the key chapter ideas. It's the action that can be taken with that chapter, and further reading.